guys, thank you so much for joining us today. If you're here today, you're already one step ahead of everyone else because you already took action and you're in charge with your time and you decided to do something for yourself. So please make sure that you make yourself comfortable for the next 2 hours. We're gonna be here and share a lot of valuable content. So just pour a glass of wine and lock the door and send your husband with the kids, or if you don't have any kids, just make sure that you turn off your phone and you get any distractions off, because the things that I'm gonna share with you, they are basically a roadmap, but it made me be successful in microblading and build a really great business. I'm gonna show how to get started, because that's the most important things that most of the people get stuck, or how to get started. You're gonna see later on that learning the skill is not actually the biggest struggle while you're getting into the microblading business. The biggest struggle is actually the mindset and how to actually take action and how to get started, and actually really to figure out if microblading is the right business for you or not. Because you might actually want to join in microblading because it sounds as good as it sounds, and it sounds like amazing, and it is a truly amazing career, and I can't wait to share with you how microblading actually changed my life and my career and my daughter's life. But as much as it's such a great skill and such a great job, it comes with a lot of sacrifices, and there is a lot of work over there that not many people talk about it. So I'm gonna be here to show you actually the roadmap and what it takes in order to build a successful microblading business, and then it's up to you to figure out if you want to be part of this or not. I'm Irina Wynn. I am the author of The Art of Microblading, #1 bestseller book. I personally trained thousands and thousands of students, and Work Microblading has trained other thousands of students, and we have an amazing team of trainers, and every day it's a learning process, and nothing empowers me more rather than coming here and help you guys to succeed. And our proven success is the stories of our former students. As I was saying earlier, I was blessed to have an ambition, and I was blessed to learn microblading, and how this changed my life from being a single mom and being broke on the street and had literally zero money to take care of my daughter, to become a self-made millionaire under 25 years old. I think that was a pretty big achievement, but I'm not here to brag. I'm here to help you, and I'm here to actually show you what it is possible with microblading if you learn it on the right way. There are many proclaimed safe gurus over there in the industry, so I'm not here at all to show you that. I'm here actually to give you a blueprint how you could build your business and how you could be successful. How this came to be here today, I'm gonna do a presentation over here and how this works. Basically, I'm gonna show you what it takes to start in microblading, and then the next webinar we're gonna actually go in a class and see live what it takes to learn microblading. So you're gonna see the basics, what you actually learn in microblading, and you're gonna see a live model, and you're gonna be able to have questions answered. So please feel free to chat, and I have my amazing assistant Georgiana and Yesenia. They're answering your questions in real time. So I would like to know more about you, where you come from, what's your struggle, and why are you here today? Because in that way, the next presentation, I will be able to work closer to you guys to see how can I support you and how could I help you to build the business that you always wanted. So today, as I said, we're gonna talk about the mindset, and we're gonna talk how to get started and actually make you figure out what's your superpower, if microblading is the right fit for you or not. Because you might end up after 2 hours realizing that, okay, microblading is not the right fit for me. Thanks God I saved 10 grand in education and traveling and a lot of time, because I generally don't enjoy doing that. But before actually even consider to get trained, you should watch this, because I can promise you by the end of this presentation, you're gonna be able to know exactly if microblading is the right fit for you, if you're willing to put whatever it takes in order to be successful or not. And I'm not talking from the books, and I'm not talking from the articles from the internet. Microbladed myself thousands and thousands of eyebrows. I'm the creator of dual blade method. I've trained myself thousands of students, and our academy is one of the largest in the United States. And I'm very proud that I am #1 bestseller author for the book The Art of Microblading, which, by the way, you're gonna get it free if you stick till the end. So there are a lot of goodies coming over, and I'm not here to sell you anything. So again, get a glass of wine, get a popcorn, and just relax and enjoy the presentation. And at the end, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna answer all the questions that you guys have. Just to start a little bit about my background and about education and how much I value continuous education. So I always said to everybody, don't be too smart for extra education. There are a lot of people that they think they don't need the right education, but in order to evolve and to progress, I always tell you to go train yourself, learn the new trends, learn the new techniques in the marketing if you want to stay ahead of the curve, because it's not only knowing a skill, it's about how you're gonna make money of the skill. It's like being a doctor, you're gonna always have to study for the rest of your life. If you're a lawyer, which is fun fact that I am a lawyer as a background, but we're gonna talk later about how I dropped being a lawyer to be a microblading artist. So it's always about educating yourself and keeping ahead of the curve, because if you just want to be basic and have like 2-3 customers a week, that's easy. But if you want to scale it till the rocket, you always have to know how to market yourself. And it's not about the skill that you know, it's about what you could provide to your customer and how customers can actually find out about you. Because again, you're gonna figure out that the skill is the least like problem that you're gonna have while you are in the microblading business. The biggest problem is gonna be how to find customers and how to actually scale it and make a business and have even people working for you while doing microblading. That's why for me to come and teach you over here, I'm telling you that I spent over 60 grand in education in the past few months, because I always want to know what's new in the industry and I want to be ahead of the curve. I even spent 43,000 in education in the past 30 days, and I'm not talking about traveling, and I'm not talking about the hotels and accommodation. I'm actually a member of the War Room, which is a membership which you can join only with invitation. It's a mastermind build together with like some very smart entrepreneurs. Only to join, the annual fees are 25 grand, and I just find out that now they are 35 grand, which is a little bit pricey. But in order to be able to come and teach you guys a lot of skills over here, I have to be there, because I'm literally sitting in a room with like people that they worth billions, and by learning from their successful stories and from their own mistakes is the only way that I can actually come here and help you guys to build your own businesses. There are a lot of people that they are like copywriters, they are like 10 million media buyers, 5 Inc. 500s, they are venture capitalists, they are tech millionaires, and then they are people from weird businesses and very niche businesses. By example, here it's a picture with me and Naveen Jain, which is worth $8 billion. So basically you are watching this presentation for free. All those hassles and everything that we do in order to be able to help you guys to be ahead of the curve and come here today, it comes with a sacrifice. We give up time from our family, we give up time to spend with our friends to be able to educate ourselves and evolve. So if you want to remember something from here, don't be too smart for extra education, because you're gonna thank me if you listen to this advice for the rest of your life. I got to learn from some of the biggest leaders in the tech industry, in the e-commerce industry, in the health industry. Here are just like few names. I am actually the youngest member, but again, I was blessed with an amazing ambition to succeed in life. Nothing stopped me. So I am here to show you that you could do that too. We can all be successful if we shift the focus away from ourselves to help others instead, and shine in a spotlight of giving more that we get. Our decisions shape our future, so we are always just step away from a substantial change. So use your time wisely. After all, it's the only valuable resource that you have. The number one question that I've always asked myself, it was how the hell I made it so far with so many obstacles along the way. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tell you my secret. There is no secret. You got to simply let all the negativity, forgiveness, and all that made it wrong to you, and never forget the lessons that come along the way. Once you have learned from your mistakes, the next step is just to move on. At the end of the day, you only live once, so think twice. Do something for yourself that you're gonna thank in your future. Your kids will thank you forever if you're actually following your dream and your passion. Back to the educational side, I thought that War Room was not enough, so I wanted to join different masterminds. So then I joined Tukama Club, where I got to spend another 18 grand plus the travel, and I had to get to travel with my daughter. But I got to learn from a lot of amazing entrepreneurs like Tony Robbins, like Russell Brunson. And it's priceless to get a chance to sit with those people in the room and actually learn from their experience. So it's not what you even know, it's who knows you. One connection instantly can change your life and the course of the history. So just make sure that you are going to different events and just like get yourself well connected and get the people around you and just learn from their experience. Just go introduce yourself. This is me with my daughter. I know it's hard. I'm a single mom. So if you always have the obstacles, oh, I cannot travel because I'm a single mom, or I don't have money to travel, I'm telling you guys, you always find a way for the things that you want in life, period. You're always gonna find that money for that dress if you really want to. Now, you have to set up your expectations to be realistic though. But if I hear the excuse that I don't have time, I'm a single mom, or I just got out of a surgery, maybe this career is not for you. Or maybe you should actually considering on figuring out if you want to do something meaningful with your life or not. Because it's not an easy job. No matter what you're actually planning to do, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna take a lot of sweat. It's gonna take a lot of effort. It's gonna take a lot of sacrifices. And it's the same with microblading. I just grabbed my autistic 4-year-old daughter to travel across the country in a 6-hour flight while she was fighting all over to not want to put her seatbelt on because I wanted to succeed. I wanted to be able to provide for her and be able to make enough money to pay her therapy, because being a foreigner in a country is not easy. I also got to learn from some of the amazing digital marketers in this world and understand the nonsense of the social media. So I'm going to teach you later how to actually take advantage of the big social media trend and just not waste your time on the walls without actually being productive. Tai Lopez was one of the amazing mentors that I got to learn a lot from. I spent a lot in the masterminds, as I told you, and I'm basically sucking the information from all over the people around. And I try to educate myself, and I invest a lot in the self-development as well. I got to travel to Nicaragua and hang with an amazing group of entrepreneurs, and most of us, we were like so outside the box and come from different backgrounds and different businesses. But guess what we had in common? We all had in common to bring an impact on this world and have a meaningful purpose to help human beings achieve their dream, either to gain financial independence or help badass entrepreneurs like you. Because if you're here today and you made it that far, I'm sure you're as passionate as I am about microblading, and you're gonna be successful no matter what path you're gonna choose. If you dedicated your time right here instead of swiping left or right on Tinder or just watch Netflix, if you're here listening to me and to my thick accent at this point in the day, I know you want to do something with your life, and I thank you for that. I'm not gonna get yourself bored more with people that I got to learn from, but what I'm gonna talk about now is gonna be define your mission. Actually, if you find out what's your superpower and what's your mission on this earth, it's gonna be much easier for you in order to figure out if this is the right path for you. For me, my path and my superpower, it was that I learned microblading. Despite of the fact that I barely perform any procedures anymore, because at this point I'm running a multi-million-dollar company, I know that no one can take away this skill from me. I might now scale businesses and work with entrepreneurs like you, but I'm an artist and I'm one of the most respected and well-known microblading artists in the world. In essence, my superpower, my talent, it's a set skill, and that's my security. Microblading has given me not only the lifestyle that my daughter and I needed, but the security knowing that no matter what life's gonna bring on my plate in the future, I will be okay. Regardless of where in the world I live, microblading will always be a high-cost procedure, and I will always have a very, very generous income. If you already have your superpower mapped out, high five for that. Get an ice cream, baby, because you actually earned it. If no, don't sweat it. It's not too late for you to get everything figured out and gain your lifetime security. Follow your heart, your passion, and your dreams wherever are your dreams, because there is only a code inside that you could crack it. It's your superpower. It's okay to fail, and it's okay to fail again, but it's not okay and it's actually unacceptable to quit. We don't quit here. We try again, and again until we make it. There are no limits, a part of our own beliefs. Don't limit your opportunities and shoot for the moon. If you don't reach it, that's fine. At least you land among the stars. My mission has been changed. At the beginning, I felt very empowered by the fact that I was helping my customers to gain more confidence, and they were feeling pretty. And when I was seeing those tears in the mirror while they were seeing themselves after they were getting their microblading done, it was priceless. I'm telling you, the top of all the money that I was making was priceless to see those women crying of happiness when their eyebrows look pretty and they were feeling more confidence. And even I knew that I was so perfectionist and I thought that my work sucked. And I was like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't see that corner, or I hope she doesn't see that. Guess what? They didn't see that. And you need to stop to be perfectionist and focus on the big pictures. Customers gonna love your work, and you have to be confident. And if you wanna remember something, you're not gonna move mountains if you're not confident. If you're not confident that you could do something and you're gonna be successful, or confident on your own skill, I have to disappoint you, sister, but you're not gonna make it. You have to learn from being confident that you could make it, and that's period. You could make it. Back to my mission that time, when it was to help those women feel pretty, and I still enjoying that, but my focus has changed. Now I get like more joy by seeing you guys gaining financial independence and actually building your business. And let me tell you how everything started. If you look at those eyebrows right now in the corner up, those are my first eyebrows that I ever done. And I know they are awful, but guess what? We all start from there. And if you think that you are born with the talent or anything, I have to tell you that's a bullshit. It's all about the skill. It's about how much work you're gonna put and how much talent. It's not about talent here. It's about time. It's about the dedication and commitment. Those are my first eyebrows that I ever done. And trust me, those people were living with tears of happiness. And actually the other day when I was doing a presentation, I was seeing a lady that I've done her eyebrows like 5-7 years ago. I don't even remember when. And she was like, come back to Oslo, I want my eyebrows done. Like, it's about the confidence that you give to those women and the relationship that you actually build to your customer. But we're gonna talk later about it. I just wanted to show you where I came from. Look at those eyebrows. If I go now in any single training that we are providing within the United States, and we have like 8 trainings every single month in different cities, every single student, well, not every, but I will say 95%, majority of the students, their first life model is gonna look better than my work after 3 months. Why? Because we constantly evolve, and we're perfecting our technique in order to help our students to have the best eyebrows and the most realistic results. I'm gonna tell you how I got started in microblading, and I'm gonna ask you a question. Have you ever brought something from someone you have been following for a while? That was me, by the way, buying a training after following an artist for 1 year. So you're gonna see that probably most of you are following me for a while. Some of the people I could see that they are signing up to our trainings, and they are literally following me since 2015, 2016. So it took a while for them till they pulled the trigger, but again, it was not too late, so it's not too late for you either. But I could see generally my customers, I will always talk with my customer, how long were you following me? How long did you consider before you got microblading? So I'm gonna I was actually figuring out that people will know everything about my life. They knew everything about my daughter, what she eats at breakfast, everything I share on social media. So that was me about that trainer. She was an amazing artist, nothing to say about her. Work was wonderful. So I first done my eyebrows to her, and then I was curious about microblading. And then I just wanted to learn more about it, and that was me taking the training, which was not the best. We didn't have any sanitary things by that time. It was awful. There are like no health regulation requirements, no licensing, no certification. So basically back that time it was a jungle. Everybody could do microblading. So as much as she was an artist, an amazing artist, she was an awful trainer, because she brought us there to show us how incapable we are to actually perform microblading, and that she's an amazing trainer and she's an amazing artist, which again, no doubt, she's an amazing artist, but she made it look like it's impossible. You have to be born with a talent in order to be able to succeed in microblading, which is a bullshit. So I remember I've been to this training, and again, if you know my story, you know that I'm not born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I'm coming from poverty. And I remember I paid 600 euro for that training, which was enormous. That's like about 800 bucks right now. That was like, I had to work so hard for those money, and they were all my savings. So I got this training, and of course it was pretty awful. And I left with a very sour taste in my mouth, and the only thing I told that trainer, it was, in 6 months I'm gonna be better than you. And of course everybody was on the floor, and she was laughing, and she was like, yeah, good luck, because she was already an established artist, and she was doing amazing, and she thought that she's gonna share the pie if she's teaching other fellow artists how to actually perform microblading. But she didn't understand that she could grow the pie bigger by helping others and providing value, and give value for those people and there's hard-earned money that they pay her training. And by, you know, there is no competition for you guys. You have to understand that. You're artists. Competitions are for horses and not for artists. There are so many customers and so many women that they need their eyebrows done. You have no idea. Even if you have a girl that she's working 5 feet from you, you're not gonna have competition with her, because you're gonna have a different clientele, you're gonna have a different sales pitch, you're gonna have a different marketing strategy, you're gonna have a different niche, and there is literally a place for both of you.
How do you feel now that you've completed the advanced microblading training, and what are you gonna do now?
I feel very confident, and I'm going to be start microblading. I have a salon myself, and having people already wanting me to do it, so I'm good to go. I'm ready. I'm confident.
How was the instructor?
Eileen was amazing, an instructor. She was very point on, so thorough, very detailed. You could tell she loves her work, so very great.
What did you like most about the class?
I love that we had such a great group of people, and everybody just, kind of meshed together. We helped each other. Eileen was a part of that. She helped. She was just very, having everybody come together all the time. So that was a good one.
Would you recommend this class, and why?
I would totally recommend it. I mean, it's a good course.
How did you like the course?
Oh, I really, really liked it. I thought it was really worth the money. I was kind of concerned that it was a little overpriced, but after coming and doing it, I feel like it was really worth the money.
What are you going to do next now that you finished the course?
So I actually have jobs at 2 salons. So one in Tampa, one in Lake City. I split my time between the 2. I just travel between both of them.
So how was your instructor, Simone?
Oh my God, I love her. Any class that, we were all talking, I will probably retake the class, not because I need it, but just because I want to hang out with her a second time.
And so what was your favorite part of the class?
I really liked micro shading. That was my favorite thing that we learned. I liked that even more than the actual microblading, and the majority of requests that I get are for like an ombre brow or a more bold filled in brow, so I think I'll probably do that the most, but I really liked micro shading.
And so would you recommend the class?
I would absolutely recommend the class.
How do you feel now that you have completed the microblading training, and what do you plan to do now?
I feel very confident in my microblading skills, and I was using a machine to do micropigmentation, and the microblading is so much better. The hairs are so much smaller. You have much more control over the shape of the brow with it. So
And how was your instructor?
she was wonderful. She
Thank you.
let us stay late and practice on each other and answered all our questions, everything we needed.
And what did you like most about the class?
Really like just the method and the dual blade technique. The pigments are wonderful colors and just everything was top notch.
Would you recommend this class and why?
Absolutely. If anybody wants to make tons of money microblading, this is the way to learn.
How do you feel now that you've completed the training, and what are you going to do now?
I feel like I'm prepared for continuing on in practicing, and I feel like I'm prepared enough, but I still need practice.
How was the instructor?
I loved Simone. I thought she was awesome. I've had different kinds of training before, and I thought Simone was great. Her
Awesome.
expertise and her hands-on demonstrations were just, her artistry was phenomenal.
What did you like most about the class?
I liked most that it was very detailed and very thorough. I liked it that it was done by somebody competent.
Would you recommend this class to others?
I feel like after looking at all the girls in my group, I think that every one of them did such a great job. So I think that I would recommend it to anybody because I think that Simone can bring out the best in them.
How do you feel now that you've completed the training, and what are you going to do now?
I actually feel pretty confident. At first I was, I'm glad I took the 6-day course. It was just really thorough and I just feel really good about it.
Good. How was the instructor?
Oh my gosh, Simone was amazing. I love her so much now. She just answered every question that we had. Awesome.
Cool.
trainer.
Cool. And what did you like most about the class?
The one-on-one times that we had with her, she was just really great with that. Just looking, having like personal time with her. It was just really great with, personal one-on-ones.
So would you recommend this class?
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Awesome.
Definitely, 100%.
How do you feel now that you've completed the training, and what are you going to do next?
I feel very confident in my abilities to go out and perform this on my clients. I already have a business, so I'm going to add this to my services.
How was the instructor?
Simone was incredible. Cannot say enough good things about her. She definitely made sure you knew what you were doing and didn't sugarcoat it. So if you knew you needed to work on something, she let you know.
What did you like most about the class?
I like that it was so intense. I've taken classes before in permanent cosmetics and I left feeling like I still didn't know what I was doing, but I feel like with this class, I'm very confident.
Would you recommend this class?
I would absolutely recommend this class. I did a lot of research on different schools that offered the microblading training, and this is by far the one I've been impressed with, and even more impressed now that I've taken it.
How do you feel now that you've completed the microblading training, and what are you going to do now?
So I feel amazing. I definitely feel confident and ready to go out there and start practicing. I think that I've learned all the basic steps and to know what I need to do, and now I just need to go out and implement it and start building clients and start practicing, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
And how was the instructor?
She was amazing, very knowledgeable, very attentive, and very encouraging. That's one thing that I feel like with instructors and teaching, you definitely, I don't react well with negative. I love criticism. I want you to correct me when I'm not doing something right, and I want you to show me the right thing. But I love it when it can come from a positive place, and that's 100% what I got from Simone. Positive, happy, just a fun person to be around.
What did you like most about the class?
I love that we actually got hands-on training. That's one of the things that I feel like I wasn't exactly sure that was something that we were going to get. I had researched different courses, and not all of them let you actually have hands-on training, and that's so important with something like this, because working on a sheet of paper or even a latex is so different from an actual person, and there's no way that you can get that practice without actually doing it on someone.
Would you recommend this class, and if so, why?
Absolutely. I actually already have recommended it to a couple of people, and I have someone coming to this class in a month. I did a lot of research on a lot of different places. There's a lot of people who are offering training now, and doing research, reviews, I felt like this was the best, and I think I definitely made the right choice.
What made you decide to come to this presentation today, and what made you decide to follow me? You can't have people that hate you and still buy from you. I know that I might not be the great cup of tea for everybody, but honestly, I don't try to attract that kind of customers, and I hope you're gonna learn that you're not gonna want to attract the people that you don't truly enjoy to work with. I might be raw, I might be tough, but the only thing that I want from you guys is to succeed and to see you successful, and maybe thank me in a few years that I help you gain that financial freedom and that you afford to have your daughter having those ballet lessons, or you bought that pretty bag that you always wanted, or you just brought your husband to Caribs and I don't know, just do something that is very meaningful for you, or maybe just cut the hours that you're working just to spend more time or pursue a new hobby, pursue tennis, or I don't know, watch Netflix or whatever makes you happy. We're gonna talk in a second about providing value to your customers. If you got a business mindset and you want to make it to the big leagues, stick with me. I can promise you by the end of this presentation, you will have a blueprint to build your business from the ground up. The plan to create a rock solid base for your future achievements. Whenever you register for this webinar, you were smart enough to realize that you can't learn microblading from 5 minutes presentation or 2-hour presentation. Just the title of this webinar suggests the secrets of microblading. You will understand later that microblading, it's an art. It's a skill that takes time to practice and to master it. Rule number 1 that you will learn during the time that you're gonna be a microblading artist, a businesswoman, and a marketing guru is gonna be that you never cut corners and you always want to provide value. Invest in proper education, work your ass off, and improve your technique. Do it right or just don't do it at all. Could you actually make millions from microblading? For sure, I've been there, done that. Can you do that too? Of course you can. How? Well, keep watching. What does it even mean to provide value? My definition of value is the ability of your customer to receive a service in a way that automatically results in a positive change in their lives. There has been a huge uplift in the client interest for microblading service over the past few years due to mainly the large amount of money that I have personally invested to promote the benefits of this procedure. Feather eyebrows or soft shading or strokes or ombre effect or whatever you call it. At the end of the day, every client wants the same thing, beautiful eyebrows. And the common link between every client is that they are willing to pay their hard-earned money in order to make sure that the eyebrows are taken care of properly and they are getting pretty eyebrows. According with a journal of the American Medical Association, 65% of the women admit that they pluck or wax their eyebrows. Now let's do the math here. How many of the women are actually doing it the right way? I will say that at least 60% of the women screw up their eyebrows in some way. And there is a fact that you might know, but you might not know actually. Once you pluck your eyebrows, they will never grow back. I can promise you that. I've been there, done that, and I've tried. They will never grow up the same shape. Or even customers that they had chemotherapy and they lost their eyebrows, they never grew back. So then it comes handy that people naturally will want to get microblading and get their eyebrows done. Already you can see why microblading is safer choose for the natural, beautiful looking eyebrows. When performed the right way, a microblading procedure lasts anywhere between 6 months and 2 years. Depends on certain factors like skin type, age, or ethnicity. In addition, certain other variables like aftercare can seriously affect the retention of the color in your skin. And don't ignore this fact. Microblading is overall much more lasting method than any other methods in the market in order to be able to fix the eyebrows. I said it before and I will say it again because this is really important. If you want to make it in the top, you have to go all in. And I don't mean that you need only to get quality education in microblading by a reputable trainer. That's a start, but nowhere near the finish line. When I say all in, I mean you're gonna have to invest time, your desire, and your effort in your dedication and your commitment in becoming an expert in your field. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. You're climbing your own ladder of success And it's all that it should concern you at this point. And I'll be honest, outside the permanent beauty industry, I don't think I've ever seen such a lucrative opportunity for such a low price to become certified. And here's what I mean. As an esthetician, you make more than a trial lawyer per hour, and it only costs you a few $1,000s to get certified. Ready to get the cherry on the top? The certification process takes 5 days instead of 5 years. And yes, you don't have to pass the bar exam, which, fun fact, it's awful to pass a bar exam because I've been there, done that. It's a pretty sweet deal, right? And even though in the top of that, some of you might still be saying yourself that university degree is the way to go, take it from me. I'm a woman that I am from Europe. I spent 5 years in Europe to obtain a law degree, and I said hell no, and it's not worth it, and I wanted a shortcut. Like I said it at the introduction of this webinar, I'm a lawyer by trade, but I never pick up my diploma once I earn it. Why? Because at the time I finished my studies, I already was an entrepreneur. I was owning and operating salons, providing microblading in Norway. And that's right, a Romanian lawyer running beauty salons, studios in Norway with zero previous experience, learning permanent makeup and providing for their customers. What was law involved over here? None. Maybe the fact that it helped me stay away from the troubles. So whoever tells you cannot do it if you don't have 100 of years in beauty industry and experience, I'm telling you, that's a bullshit. I made it and I was one of the most reputable artists in the world, and I still am. And you could see that my English is broken. And if you're still sticking with me till this point and you made it that far by listening my thick accent and my strong European personality, you're on the right path. Because despite of all the fact that I'm a successful entrepreneur and I made millions of dollars from microblading, I'm a woman and I know where you are. I started from scratch, and being a single mom is not easy. I'm gonna share my story in a second with you. After I'm gonna show some of the testimonials from people around the world, what they are saying about us.
How do you feel now that you completed the advanced microblading training with MJ, and what are you going to do now?
Well, I feel confident, still a little bit nervous because it's new, but I'm excited for the future. Hopefully I'm going to start microblading at the salon I'm at.
How was Mary J with you?
Amazing. She's awesome. She's very, very thorough and patient because everybody works at different rates. So she kind of breaks it down for everybody. She's a good instructor.
What did you like the most about the class?
I liked how it's so hands-on. Within the second day, we were already starting to microblade. I just like that we get to practice on live models and all of that, especially like with the 5-day, which is really important.
What other things did you like about the class?
I also liked the group of people I was with. Everybody seems like they're really motivated to do this, so it was exciting to see everybody else excited.
Would you recommend the class, and why?
Absolutely, because you really learn a lot. I think the 5-day is definitely the best because you get to learn the tattoo removal and the shading, which is really important to know when you're alone and doing it from a salon or a studio.
How do you feel now that you've completed the advanced microblading class with MJ?
Honestly, I feel, definitely experienced and extremely knowledgeable. The information that I was given has helped more than anything. I definitely didn't know a lot about microblading going into the class, but now I definitely feel ready to go out and start my new adventure.
What are you going to do now?
Now I'm actually, I'm going to start my own business. It's called Bladed Artistry. So in February I go for aesthetics, so I'm going to start doing like makeup, but right now I'm just going to focus on microblading.
So what did you like most about the class?
The most that I liked about the class was just really how hands-on it was. MJ really just made sure we really practiced as much as we really could, and practice, like everyone says, makes perfect. So she really just made sure that practice was everything, whether it was on the latex skin or if it was on somebody else or just demonstrations. It just really helped a lot.
Okay, and would you recommend this class and why?
I would definitely recommend this class just because a lot of the courses that I've looked at through other schools, they weren't as hands-on. It was more kind of just bookwork or just more of learning through a book, and I feel like faster, or you learn faster with more demonstrating and hands-on. So I would definitely recommend this school and this class to other people.
And this is something that you guys look for it. At the end of the day, you don't get points for performing the best microblading procedure. I told you, don't be perfectionist. We get credits for improving people's physical appearance and helping them boost their confidence. So what's value then? I always get this question, what's value? And let's talk a little bit more about the value. If people were insecure and now they can own the word, that's value. If they were self-conscious and now they are confident, that's self-value. If they felt ugly and now they feel pretty, that's actually value that you're bringing to your customers. If you understand the concept of giving value to your customers, you'll never have to worry about cash for the rest of your life, because a service done right, where there was no hope, now where hope exists because of you, is what they need right now, and that's what customers need from you. And let me ask you, if you're already in the beauty industry by now, how many customers do you have per month? And let's say that you imagine that only 20% of your customers will get this service from you. Basically, if you multiply that with 700, which is just the average in the microblading industry for the service, let's see how much can you make, how much money can you make with absolutely zero extra advertising. How much do you need to make to get to that level? What are you willing to do to make this happen? The opportunity is there for you. So when you put your head on the pillow and you know that you have done something for yourself, you know that you're getting yourself on a path to be successful for your family, for yourself, for your kids, for your spouse, that's the thing that you should focus mostly on you. Because if you don't invest in yourself, you're gonna burn your own bridge, girlfriend. So you have to make sure that you first invest in yourself. Investing in yourself should be the focus number one. It should not be an option. And I'm not telling only about the investing yourself as financial. I'm talking about invest time in yourself, invest in learning your skill, invest in doing something meaningful for yourself, investing new in something that actually makes you happy. It's a huge difference between a purchase and an investment, and we're gonna talk about it. Let's say you go to Starbucks and you're buying a cup of coffee, right? That's a purchase, and it's like a reflex, and most of you are spending money in a cup of coffee. But then if you talk about the investment, and I do have a pretty big smile on my face, because I'm actually like getting out from the bank after I deposit some money into my retirement account and in my daughter education account. That's actually what I talk about it. To get a six-figure income, you need to make just $8,000 a month. Did you hear me that? If you don't trust me, go ahead and make a math on your calculator. Just divide 100,000 at 12 months and you have to make only 8,000 a month in order to be able to have a six-figure income. What's stopping you today from achieving your dreams is my question over here. Level up, girlfriend. That's why you're here. And I'm very sure that if you're here today, you want to do something with your life and you have thought about it and you just don't know how to start, or you're lost in the path, and if you don't know if this is the right opportunity for you. Have you ever felt lost? Think about it and don't be shy. I feel lost every day, because every day life comes in our way and we don't know what we want, and when we have something we always want more, and when we have money we want more time with family. So it's always compromising for whatever is a priority at that given point for your life. But if you know where is your path and where you're going, you're good. I was in this situation over here. So let's talk about the college for a second. Unless you're actually gonna graduate from a very top university and you're gonna end up having a corporate job, which in fact, I see a lot of people dropping their corporate job because they don't feel fulfilled and they are tired of 9-to-5 life and they want to do something that is more part-time for them while they spend more time with their family. So my point is, unless you graduate a university that is very prestigious, is wasting of your time. By the time you're finishing that university, the skill set that you got, it's already gone. Let's say you're finishing, I don't know, marketing. By the time that you're finishing your 4 years university or 5 years or whatever you're going, a master degree, there's is gonna be a new online platform, and it's gonna be a new social media platform, and people will make money from very different ways. By example, me, when I announced that I would switch gears, no one believed in me, not even my mom. I still remember her words to me. She was saying, "Are you becoming an esthetician instead of a judge? Are you out of your mind?" Those around me began to throw bricks at me, and I truly believed that I was making the biggest mistake of my life, of course, right? But guess what? I picked up every single brick they threw in the way, and I used it to build one of the largest vocational schools that teach microblading in the United States of America, and here we are today. What I thought was initially a trend, but before that trend became a long-term service, become so popular that Hollywood celebrities and all over the world, females wanted to have it. The surge in popularity created millions of dollars in the revenue for our former students and put microblading on top of a service, and it's not gonna go anywhere soon, I promise you that. It's the reason that I never trust the trend will remain temporary, but my business is living proof that trends don't fade away. If you need another example, let's talk fun fact here. Just look at the Bitcoin. You'll need to illustrate how powerful cryptocurrency is. It's the power that it speaks itself. I mean, it's a digital currency, it's basically non-existent, and yet Bitcoin has become one of the strongest threads in the financial industry. Despite all the regulation, rumors, attempt to bash it, Trump and Warren Buffett or wherever, it's still there and it doesn't go anywhere. And the same analogy holds true for microblading. As much as outsiders try to knock microblading down, it's on demand and it only increased the demand. As I was talking earlier, this was me and my mom screaming at me exactly how is this child over here, and the kid basically is just covering the ear because he's tired of the nonsense. And basically, like my daughter, I will tell her what to do and she's gonna be tired and she's gonna be like, I can do whatever I want. And this is pretty much the society and how we're going towards. And I told you earlier the story that how I got to start in permanent makeup after throwing 600 euro down the drain. That was basically the worst $600 that I ever spent in my life, but in the same time it was the best motivation for me to succeed and actually to prove everybody, including myself, that I can be successful. I told you earlier that I did not learn anything apart of how to mutilate actually someone's face. And the top added bonus that I didn't mention earlier, this instructor gave all her students a lesson in gossip with concentration on making us feel like idiots. I left the class feeling like a loser who will never be able to do any tattoo again for eyebrows, right? And actually, again, I thought that was the best decision that I ever had it in my life, because I trade money for an experience and I can never, ever, ever replace that, because it was the biggest push that it made me succeed. Now, fun fact, let's talk back to the college, because why I'm so pissed about the college is because I spent it 4 years from my life being involved in this college and studying to figure out that after I passed the college and I got all the way to be a lawyer, I just didn't want it to be average. So let's look at this picture. You could see me being in that corner. Yeah, look at the smile on my lips right now. But don't look only at my smile, look at everybody's smile, how happy we are. This is the graduation party and look how happy we are. Guess what? You know how many of those people from here are judges or lawyers? None, including I. I have a license and I've never picked it up. None of us. So we're really excited that we wasted 4 years of our life. The world is moving fast, girlfriend. That's the bottom line, and it's moving same like your opportunity. Learn to learn and take the 1% advantage rule. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about this. This is me and this is my dear dad. And this is one of my, despite of the fact that I had a very bad childhood and I don't have a mom, this is one of my happy memory while I was a child. While playing Monopoly with my dad, it's not about the game. I remember that I learned one of the highest values that I could possibly ever get. It was to be responsible and to manage my finances and wake up and go for my dream. I play to win and I understand the rules of the game. And now let's talk about you. Did you understand the rule of the game and what it takes for you to dominate the game and actually to be open to new opportunity, to help people, to bring value to their lives? People don't want to buy a product or a service from you. They want the result. How can you improve their appearance? How can you boost their confidence? How could you make them feel prettier? What is the price that you're willing to pay to follow your dream? And why? Because the best investment that you could do is to invest in yourself. Pass the bridge and burn it and make sure that you never look back. And let's talk about the real investments here, investing in yourself and educating yourself and pursue your dream. Because if you have a shitty career that is not like fulfilled with anything, like what's the point in life? Again, you only live once and you don't want to be miserable for the rest of your life. And if you ask yourself if it is something that you could say to yourself 10 years ago, what would you say to yourself? Just be honest with yourself and think, what would you say to yourself? Oh God, I don't even want to get there to say what I will say to myself. That's going to be a pretty tough one.
Kylie, how do you feel now that you've completed the training, and what are you going to do next?
I feel really good now that I completed the training. A lot more confident than I thought I would be after just a 6-day class, but it's pretty intensive, awesome 6-day thing. My next step is going to be to go back to my waxing studio and start implementing this as a service.
And how was the instructor?
The instructor was amazing. Simone couldn't have been better. I felt a little nervous going into like continuing education and not having any idea what it was going to be like, and Simone made me feel really comfortable and made sure that she's really good at individual care, even though we were in a larger class. So I loved her.
What did you like most about the class?
I really enjoyed the hands-on aspect of things, working on latex, working on our actual models, but feeling like even though you were doing something on someone, knowing that you had the support around you with other people, it just makes you feel very comfortable.
What other things did you like about the course?
I really liked how intense it was. I mean, it's 6 days, we packed in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed that it was like this really easy step-by-step kind of process that made you feel really comfortable with each little thing you were doing, like whether it was just learning how to section a brow, how to draw it. Every step of it made you feel confident in what you were going to do next.
Would you recommend this class to others, and if so, why?
I would absolutely recommend this to other people. If other girls at my business want to start microblading later, I would definitely recommend them come into this. I just feel like personally I am so much more comfortable than I thought I would be becoming a microblader, and I think that everyone else would feel that too.
How did you feel now that you've completed the training, and what are you going to do next?
I feel awesome. I feel very confident. What I'm going to do next is I'm probably going to go to school for like esthetician school and just kind of broaden my knowledge about skincare, because this is a completely different field that I was very unfamiliar with.
How was the instructor?
She is awesome. Simone is great. She's very hands-on. She asks any questions you have. She makes everyone feel very comfortable, and she's very detailed.
What did you like most about the class?
Just how hands-on you are, just going through different stages of learning the actual technique of every little detail, because that's super important.
Would you recommend this class to others, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
It's very awesome. Yeah, very detailed. I feel very confident.
How do you feel now that you have completed the microblading training, and what do you plan to do now?
I feel very good that I have a new skill under my belt, an actual certification that I can take and get a proper license to actually do it correctly. I like the fact that we had the 6D training, which is a little bit more than probably what other microbladers around town have. So I feel like I have a leg up where I can offer something even more spectacular than what's already out there.
How was your instructor?
My instructor was Carmen, and she was absolutely one of the most perfect instructors I've had in a long time. She was very patient with us.
What did you like most about the class?
The hands-on, because learning anything, I think the hands-on is the most important part. So yes, learning it and actually getting to do hands-on.
What other things did you like about the course?
The students were great. They came from different backgrounds with different levels of understanding.
Would you recommend this class and why?
I would recommend it because it's an amazing skill, but I wouldn't recommend it because then it'd be competition for me.
How do you feel now that you've completed the training, and what are you going to do now?
Now that I've completed the training, I feel excited to start applying myself on a regular basis, and I plan on incorporating microblading into the existing waxing studio that I work at.
And how was the instructor?
The instructor, Simone, was incredible. Very, very competent, intelligent. She has great artistic ability. I really felt like she's a strong leader and was able to explain things on a level that it's easy for everyone to understand.
And what did you like most about the class?
What I liked most about the class, honestly, was being able to learn something new and having so much confidence in the whole process and the class, the structure of the class.
Would you recommend this class, and if so, why?
I would definitely recommend this class. I would definitely recommend Simone as an instructor. Eventually some of my coworkers will come back and take the class as well.
How do you feel now that you have completed the microblading training, and what do you plan to do now?
I feel very confident in the technique and the skill. I'm ready to hit the ground running and start taking clients. My goal is to go into practice for myself doing microblading.
How was your instructor?
My instructor was awesome. She was very patient, always willing to assist, helpful demeanor, and readily available.
What did you like most about the class?
What I like most about the class is it pretty much covered every single thing you would need to know from start to finish, as well as correction to get your clients taken care of and satisfied.
And would you recommend this class, and why?
I would recommend this class. It's very detailed. Even if you're a novice at microblading, it's easy to catch on and grasp the concept.
How do you feel now that you've completed the advanced microblading training, and what are you going to do next?
I learned a lot. I felt like the class was very thorough, and I feel like with my aesthetic background, like I can really start working on patients.
And how was the instructor?
Simone was wonderful. She great hands-on. She was very clear, concise, told you, hey, try it this way. No negativity. It was wonderful. She was great.
Awesome. And what did you like most about the class?
Let's see. I liked that there were 3 models hands-on. A lot of classes only offered 1 or none. And I liked that we got individualized attention with everybody coming around and always helping us, going through the color theory and all the rest of it.
Would you recommend this class to others?
Absolutely. I think that I will have my coworker come next. She's taken a 1-day microblading class and she's very uncomfortable, so I really think she's going to need something thorough like this.
Now that you finished the World Microblading class, how did you like the course?
I loved it. I really did. I wasn't really for sure what it was going to be like when I got here or what to expect, but I feel really confident, and it was a lot of information, but it was really good information.
What are you going to do next now that you've completed the course?
Well, I am from Chattanooga and I work in a spa there, so I'm going to start practicing and taking clients in there.
And how was your instructor, Simone?
I loved her. She was so good, and she's very knowledgeable too on everything. And I didn't feel like I couldn't ask her something. Like, everything was great, so I loved her.
And what was your favorite part of the class?
It was probably working on clients, like getting the experience that we needed to take back. I think that was my favorite part.
So would you recommend the class?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now that you finished the class, how did you like the course?
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I thought Simone was amazing. She was super hands-on and supportive through every step of the process, so that made me feel comfortable and then confident.
And so what are you going to do next now that you've completed the course?
I'm going to start microblading. I'm a makeup artist now, so I just wanted to add something in with that so I could expand my craft. So I'll be microblading.
How was your instructor, Simone?
Simone was great. I really enjoyed her. She had a great personality. She was super bubbly and friendly the whole time, not intimidating whatsoever.
And so what was your favorite part of the class?
My favorite part, I would say, was just being able to get my hands on different models and really getting into the craft of it, because, you know, everything seems okay and latex is a totally different thing than humans. So I really enjoyed that we got to have 4 opportunities to try it out and give it a go.
And would you recommend the microblading class?
Absolutely, 100%, worth every dime.
But why not? Because what I love the most over here is to come vulnerable in front of you guys to show you that it's actually achievable by anyone, no matter where you come from, no matter which background you have, no matter which family you're coming from, it's achievable and you could do it too. And if I can tell something to myself 10 years ago, I'm not ashamed with my past, and it sculpted me on who I am today. Again, I'm coming from poverty. I had nothing. I grew up basically having cucumber and tomatoes just for Christmas and for Easter all my childhood. And trust me, when I say I grew up in poverty, I did. I grew up in a revolution country where we didn't have much, but what we had a struggle to succeed. And wherever you are today, it's all about your mindset and say, I can do it. It's day one or it's one day. This is me 11 years ago. When I was a waitress, I was wiping tables. This is me a few years later, becoming a young mom at 22 years old. To this today, I passed a horrible divorce a few years back, so I ended up being a single mom. This is where everything started, and it's very emotional for me to share this with you guys, because the only thing I want to show is that even when you have an epic fail, the only thing that it's actually a failure is to not learn from your own mistakes and from your own experience. So if there is anything that I actually learned over here, I learned how to build a business. Basically, I had zero background business. I moved to a new country where I spoke like zero language. I married, I got pregnant, my husband didn't have a job, so I was like, what could you do in a country that you don't speak a language or anything? I decided to join the beauty industry. This was my first salon, and it's an epic fail. I know it looks pretty shitty, but guess what? This salon that you're actually seeing here generating a 7-figure income, right? So in a population of 500,000 people, so if you're telling me you're coming from Cincinnati or in a suburb or wherever you're coming from, I'm telling you, I built an empire in a 500,000 people city where people had no culture about the beauty. I made those numbers in a city where women didn't make a difference, majority, of course, they didn't make a difference between a manicure and a pedicure, and they'll get a manicure just in the National Day. So that was the culture where I actually built this business. But guess what? It worked. It looks awful. 2 years later, I actually opened a very nice and fancy spa in one of the very exclusive areas. And by the way, the lady that she's giving flyers outside, she's actually our general manager those days, and she's running the entire company. She has been stocking and handling me and being able to help you guys for the past 5 years, and I can't thank her enough. Our team is pretty amazing, and I'm pretty blessed to have this team. And she's behind most of our certification and paperwork and logistics and customer service. So big thank you for Georgiana. This was the opening day, so I think I progressed a little bit from pink to having this pretty nice spa. And I was pretty accomplished till the moment that I realized my mission has been changed. I was not feeling happy anymore having customer after customer, and yeah, that sounds snob to say that I was not happy getting $1,000 from every single customer an hour. But I was tired of being in a room 12 hours a day with every single customer and doing eyebrows. I spoke a little bit earlier about me, how did I got started. I'll admit it, I spent hours and hours adding up to weeks and to the months of my life driving myself insane, trying to practice all the sort of materials that I could find, and I failed every single time. That drove me crazy. I couldn't hold my hand still, I couldn't draw even an egg. So basically, the more I practice with the tattoo machine first, the more I become frustrated because I just couldn't hold it in my hand. It was not steady. But there is a Chinese proverb that helped me guide the whole entire journey, and it said, draw 10,000 eggs, and after that you're gonna be able to draw anything. And fun fact, I can still not draw any Christmas tree, but I can draw some of the nicest eyebrows in the world. By this point, you probably know what I'm gonna say next. As I mentioned in the last few minutes, microblading is a skill, and it only requires consistent practice day in and day out, and once you devote your energy and effort on it, it will reward you so tremendously afterwards. Trust me on this because I'm a living proof. For me, the X is the analogy of the eyebrows. I drew at least 10,000 eyebrows to stabilize myself and my hands, right? And I wasn't successful because the tools I was using, they were wrong on my hands. Not because I was not trying enough, just because like I didn't have enough practice. I set out to change the game and revolution the entire industry standard, and then I created the dual blade method because I felt that the tools in the industry, they were not proper, and after I gained some experience, I figured out that after I ordered tons and tons of supplies and practiced day and night, I couldn't perfect my strokes, and I figured that the blades were bad and they were not like sharp enough. By that point, it was clear enough to me why microblading wasn't getting off to the ground. No one was making a move to take the industry to the next level. And what was so pathetic that it was so easy. A company just needed to professionalize a line of products and like get the trend to be legit. And that was it. And yes, the business worldwide, they were trying to cut corners in the shading tools and teaching people under the basement and all of that. And I realized that if no one was to invest in this incredible opportunity and actually like basically perfection this industry and provide a great training and provide good tools, I was like, I can't do that. So this is how everything got to be born in War Microblading. I work all day in my salons and I go straight home, and then I take care of my daughter and I put her to the bed and I head down to what looks to me to look like practice. I went downstairs in my basement and I tried all the prototypes that I ordered from several hundred of companies. So I tested, I sliced my hands, I sliced my legs, my husband's legs, which that was a pretty good sweet thing that he let me practice on his legs. And I spent my nights, my weekends, my extra moments that I had. And when I was not at my beauty salons or taking care of my daughter, I was down in my basement, literally like testing blades. And I told you before that I was used to practice strokes on all kinds of materials, leather, chicken wings, fruits, whatever I could find. But that's a sad truth, nothing compared with a human skin, right? So that's why I worked so much, and basically in my first year, I literally worked for peanuts. I took a deep breath and I began experimenting on myself. Yes, I used the needles, cut my own skin. Once I developed the winning needle, which it took a while, I introduced microblading salons to my beauty salons in Oslo for a dirt cheap. Yes, I made millions out of microblading, but back then I was charging like $150 for microblading service just because I wanted to build my skill. And sounds like a ridiculous business strategy, but hear me out. No one did gain valuable experience. Not only that I did gain valuable experience working with clients, but I was able to double my price as I got better and better with my craft. By the time I microblading over 20,000 eyebrows, my slowly but surely mindset had more to pay off. I know what you're thinking right now. That's an insane price for microblading. How did I pay my bills? No, I don't want to do that. No, unless I charge $1,000, I'm not gonna do that. Why did I start so low? Why did I waste the time? The answer is like, I didn't waste my time. I was building my skill. And yes, I was offering microblading and was one of the expensivest procedure in a beauty studio for the price of a manicure and a massage. But why? Because I had a big picture in mind. I needed practice. I needed to master my skills, and I needed to understand how my tools worked on the human skin. And not only that, I needed to examine the healing process. And let's face that, a chicken wing won't bubble up and scab, you know. I really needed to see that on the customers. And at the same time, I was building a relationship with my customer. That's what is going to be your money maker in the beauty industry, is what is going to keep your clients coming back and coming back. Clients understood that microblading was costly, and instead of ripping them off, I was real with them. I was genuine. I wasn't trying to squeeze money out of them to exploit them. And for that, they were grateful. They wanted to help me learn as much as I wanted to give them beautiful eyebrows. And I still remember my first eyebrow client walked on my studio on a Saturday morning. Then her smell was far from lavender. Her eyes kept welling and the tears of pain, and her skin kept bleeding all over the workplace, but she didn't say one word. She was a sweetheart towards the entire procedure, never complained once. And here's a quick tip: you can never ever perform microblading on a person who has consumed alcohol or other substances in the past 48 hours. First and foremost, it's dangerous for the client. Secondly, it leads to a very bad microblading job, because she's gonna move, she's not gonna be stable, and at the end she might even end up saying like what's going on because she's still hangover. She doesn't figure out what's going over. Want to see what I mean? Just take a look at my first picture with microblading ever. I microblade these chick eyebrows about 5 times until I get her eyebrows right. And every single time she returned to my shop with a smile, totally okay with the fact that I screw it up. And other customer would storm out pissed and report immediately. Any other customer would storm out pissed and report me immediately to everybody. But listen this, not this woman. She was always humble and smiling. And in fact, when I moved from Norway to the United States, she looked at me with tears in her eyes and asked who would do her eyebrows if I move away. Her name was Jessica, and she worked as a daycare teacher. And it's truly an understatement that she became one of my best clients. This is what I mean about building a relationship with your customers. Even though in my eyes I feel I ruined that woman's eyebrows, right? I actually didn't, because if I look at my work right back then, I was just too perfectionist and I was just criticizing myself when in fact I actually was doing a quite okay job. You want your customer to choose you every time, again and again and again, despite of your competition. Even the salon next door offer a half-price microblading, or the shop down the street is giving away a free touch-up. You want to make sure that your clients are coming back to you because they want you. At the end of the day, it's more than just a service performed for money. Your clients are trusting you with their space. Is basically there's window of their world. You have an incredible power in your hands, the power to make those women feel beautiful, confident, and fire them up. If you can use that power wisely, again, back to bringing value, you can stack your earnings higher than your dream. But guess what? Word of mouth is a powerful thing. If a woman is happy with the way how she looks, she will tell her friends about it and the referrals, and basically this is like free customers. You pay zero for advertising, but we're gonna talk about this later on ahead. But again, getting back to bringing value to people's lives, and you'll never ever ever have to worry about money for the rest of your life. You're all set, babe. How did I actually transition from being a microblader to be a master microblading trainer? I developed a curriculum and I began to teach small groups how to perform microblading procedure. And one of the core, since I generally count progress in months rather than years, it didn't took me long to raise one of the most acclaimed training in the world. And remember, by that time there was nobody training in the industry. And how did I start it? I started by people asking me, please come and teach me, because nobody was actually providing the training program. You remember that was like the competition thing, that nobody wanted to share a skill. People were thinking that that is gonna be competition, but again, there is no competition. There are literally customers for every single market and for every single of you. So I thought by coming and sharing actually and teaching people how to do the proper way, that will be a way more beneficial, because I can help other artists express their art and help other women feel gorgeous. And what set me apart from other trainers was that I didn't see this just as a job. I care about my students like I care about my baby. I wanted to hold their hands. I was on top of them to see them successful. I never let them make a mistake, and yet I was raw and mean at the time. And again, you can't make everybody happy, because at the end of the day, you're not an avocado, you know? I saw tears of frustration, but at the end I know I made a long-lasting and lifetime impact in my students' life. I saw many of them entering my training courses struggling paying their mortgages, or only 3 to their career as microblading artists. Now they are cashing out $400,000 in a year. And that's right, 400 grand a year. I actually interviewed a girl, I saw her testimonial a few days ago. She's from Oklahoma, and she's doing about 80 customers a month. And one of our girls made a small math. She's charging only $300 a customer, and she's making 25 grand a month. And she's in a small city in Oklahoma. So could you imagine that? Like how her life has been changed? That's actually what brings joy and what drives me, you know? I shared every single tip that I learned myself, and I learned that more I tested, and I wanted to teach them more and more and see them successful, because at the end of the day, confidence and have somebody got their back is what actually those artists needed. Those days I traveled frequently, and I was back and forth between 3 different continents training students, serving high-end clients and overseeing our beauty studios was really, really exhausting. So then I took it to the next level. I kept improving my training program, taking students back into the account, and already while I was considered one of the top game in the industry, I created War Microblading. I started out with a 2-day, 3-day training till I figured out that 5-day training was the most compressive one, because I tested every single type of the training. I tested 2-day, I tested 1 day, I tested 7-day. But I figured that despite of the fact that we offered a 3-day class and the 5-day class, I figured that the most compressive training was the 5-day class, because people were getting to train in 4 live models, carefully supervised by the trainer, and they were learning additional techniques like saline removal, or learning ombre effect and shading and shade and strokes. So they got a way more time. 99.9% of the customers that they left a 5-day class, they could go ahead and build actually a career out of it. And even the ones, the 0.1 that they didn't make it and they felt they needed more time, we offer, you know, satisfaction guarantees. So in case that they don't feel comfortable, they could come back again and train for free. That's why how confident I was that our training programs, they were the most compressive, because in case that you don't make it, there is like 0 risk, because we were training them again for free. I felt like I was working 25 hours out of 24 hours every single day, Monday to Sunday, from early morning till I literally could not stay awake anymore. Once the class was over, we were going to another city, and even though I was younger than most of our students, I will still enjoy holding their hand and listen to their story and see how can I actually improve them and how can I help them actually move that needle. I was having a lot of fun with our students, and I was staying very humble during this time, and I always encourage our students to provide. Sharing is caring, and giving away everything that you have. I don't think I ever had a more rewarding feeling rather than giving microblading free of charge for people that they suffer of chemotherapy. Our academy, it has been founded by passion. We promote dual blade method, which is for perfect natural looking eyebrows. We have 10 international trainers that they travel from city to city, and we are offering actually small classes, because we want to have that one-to-one attention with our students. So we were featured in several publications like Entrepreneurs, and I've been in several TV shows, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you some interviews in a second.
Well, in girl world, eyebrows are kind of a big deal. And if you've messed up your eyebrows over plucking or threading, or you just waxed the whole thing off, my next guest, you might want to listen to her. She is the CEO of World Microblading, Irina Nguyen. She joins me now. Irina, good morning. Listen,
good morning. How are you?
I'm all about the eyebrows. I love finding products, you know, doing research. But microblading might be the answer for a lot of people who have maybe overplucked over the years, right?
Right. So I literally microblading over 20,000 eyebrows in my life, including celebrities, superstar, actors. So I kind of put my hands in every single skin type, every kind of face features. So yeah, actually it's a big deal because according with the American Medical Institute, over 65% of women admit that they pluck or twist their eyebrows, and pretty much a lot of them regret it afterwards.
Yeah, it's like where you don't want the hair to grow, that comes back, but where you need the hair to come back, it doesn't. I mean, I'm coming off a bad thread job probably 6 or 7 years ago, and they still are not where they need to be. So who's a really good candidate for microblading?
I hear you. Basically, once you pluck your eyebrows, they more than likely never gonna grow back. Yeah. So anyone who actually want to improve the appearance of the eyebrows, or somebody who overplucked, or people that they had chemotherapy prior, or if they have alopecia, or anyone really that want to get rid of that pencil in the morning, it's a really, really good candidate to get microblading.
Okay. So what's the upkeep on it? Because, I mean, is it essentially, you know, like a tattoo kind of thing where you kind of need to do a refresh once, twice a year? How does that work?
Usually you need to come back once a year to get a touch-up, like very soft touch-up where you could slightly change your shape, or you get them a little bit darker or a little bit lighter, depends if you change your hair color, maybe. So basically once a year, it's just require a maintenance.
Okay. And you actually teach this all over the world, is
yes,
that right?
Actually we are the largest academy in the entire United States teaching, certifying beauticians how to perform microblading. Yeah. And we have trained over 1,000 students in 2017.
Wow, that's so cool. So I know you can't say names of your celebrity clients, but who, when you look at a celebrity, who has the best eyebrows in Hollywood, would you say? Whose eyebrows are like, okay, eyebrow goals? Who is that person,
well,
would you say?
I would say like Madonna realized that she kind of messed up her eyebrows a few years back, and then she kind of got her eyebrows saved by microblading. If I remember right, it was like about 18 months ago when she realized, like, oh, I really ruined my eyebrows. So
can you tell when somebody's done the microblading, like, oh, those look good? They're
not
back?
really,
no?
Unless you're an expert and you know that it's something done over there. Yeah. Normal people wouldn't figure that it's basically fixed over there. So you're not gonna be able to say that Madonna have her eyebrows done.
Okay. All right. Listen, if you've messed up those eyebrows, here's what you can do. You can go online. It's microbladingfinder.com to find someone in your area. Also, you can check out Irina's Instagram. It's World Microblading. Irina, thank you so much, helping us save our eyebrows 2 at a time.
Thank you so much, beautiful.
Thanks.
And then I was invited more and more and more to other TV shows to share my knowledge and how to actually help women and give tips about microblading and how can they fix their overplucked eyebrows. In fact, I was in another TV show, The Morning Blend.
Welcome everyone. Now, I would say one of the most focused features of your face nowadays is your eyebrows. That is why I wish I had met this woman when I was a teenager, but she's about to save a lot of women today and introduce us to something new that I thankfully am very familiar with, that is a lifesaver if your eyebrows are already kind of a lost cause. Welcome, Irina Nguyen. Irina, thanks so much for coming
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
I am so excited to talk about this because so many women have questions, and I am the person we're talking about. I was the overplucker, and I'm sure you run into a lot of those.
Of course. I literally touch over 20,000 eyebrows in my life, including celebrities, superstar, Hollywood names. So I kind of seen every single type of ruined eyebrows, ruined tattoos. So basically, over 65% of the women in the United States, they admit to pluck their eyebrows, according with a medical journal. And to be honest with you, most of them, they kind of regret it afterwards because they kind of mess it up. And then they don't know what to do because once you pluck your hair, basically, it doesn't really grow back, you know, no matter what you're trying. So they kind of look how to kind of fix them, either semi-permanent or permanent, and yeah, there it comes microblading. I would say that could be a really, really good option too.
Now, before we get to microblading, which by the way, I totally think is a fabulous idea for everyone, which I have had done, I want to kind of cover 4 mistakes of just eyebrows in general, because before we get to the microblading, let's maybe save some of our eyebrows.
Of course. So the tip number 1 that I will give you, don't do it home. Don't try to do it just following the templates or tutorials, because this is a thing, you're basically playing it with your face. So just go and ask for professional help. It doesn't cost that much, and people actually get certification and they get a really education, and they really learn a lot of hours how to really kind of teach you how to shape your eyebrows and kind of educate you like what it fits your features, because if they fit, I don't know, Angelina Jolie features, that doesn't mean they're gonna fit
yours.
Yes, exactly.
Probably not.
Yeah. Number 2, like don't go with shapes like too thick or too thin, you know. Eyebrows are supposed to be a frame of your eyes, so they just kind of need to bring expressivity to your face. So if somebody's kind of looking at your eyebrows before they actually look at your eyes, like, girl, is something wrong with your eyebrows? They just don't look beautiful. They just look ridiculous. Like, let's just admit it, you know. And don't do too bold shapes, you know, or like, again, if Kardashian looks awesome with black bold eyebrows, that doesn't mean if you're blonde and you're a Fitzpatrick one, you're not gonna look great with that. So that would be another tip, you know. And probably the most valuable one, just make sure when you're going to do your eyebrows, either you plug them or twist them or whatever you do, just go to a professional that is educated by the reputable academy or like who trained you. Like, this is not a thing that you learned how to do it in YouTube. So before you actually look how to fix them, try to kind of educate yourself where you're actually going to prevent ruining them, you know?
Like I said, I wish I had met you when I was a teenager, because I did all 4 of the mistakes, and now I'm here today, and we're going to be talking about microblading. If we were to explain to somebody what that is, what really is microblading?
Right, so microblading, it's a form of semi-permanent tattoo. It's done with a disposable hand method tool, so it's very sterile. We throw the tool after each customer in a shared container. The pain is minimum. You're getting a touch-up every 1 year, so it's kind of fade away after 1 year, so you get a chance to change the shape, to get them darker, thicker, thinner, of course, because the features of your face are changing every year. Like, you're growing older, the skin type is getting different, so it's not like something irreversible, you know. That's the number 1. And number 2 is meant for anyone who actually try to improve the small imperfection of the eyebrows. We don't create bold eyebrows, so basically we just fill in. So when you wake up in the morning, you kind of have that natural effect. Everybody knows you have great eyebrows, but they kind of don't figure what's there, you know?
Oh, I know we're looking at these before and after pictures, and these are absolutely, everything you said was correct. I didn't feel any pain. You know, I just kind of hung out and it was done. And the number 1 thing people are surprised about is that I only have to go back for a touch-up every year. And that's the first thing that everyone goes, oh, really? Only once a year? And I said, oh yeah, once a year. This isn't like an every 3 months or every month thing. But just like our 4 mistakes, we want to make sure we go to somebody that's a professional. Where can I find someone?
Right, so if you go to microbladingfinder.com, we have certified over 1,000 people in the entire United States. So you're gonna find your own artist, you're gonna get a free consultation, and kind of make sure that you kind of like the work that the artist done, and just make sure that the artist is certified by a really proper school, and they have the enough hours and the enough acknowledge, and look for pictures before and after, and also look for healed results. They might look great at the very beginning, but how they actually look like after they are completely healed. So just make sure you do your homework and don't go for cheap. Like, just go and buy a cheap dress, but don't do a cheap thing on your face, because it's gonna last there for a very good while. So make sure you do your homework.
I totally agree. I did all my homework. I made sure that I saw, like you said, some of their work prior. I'm going to give them those websites again so they can find out, of course, where to get a good artist, and if they're even interested in being an artist.
Of course.
This was wonderful. I feel like me and you can talk about this all day, because people have so many questions. Irina, you've been wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
My goodness. For more information on World Microblading, please call the number on your screen. Now, to find an artist near you, log on to microbladingfinder.com, or if you would like to get certified as a pro artist, visit worldmicroblading.com.
It's pretty interesting that I got so much buzz in the beauty industry, and I got so much buzz in the social media, and actually what I'm most proud of is that I actually was able to be part of the educational side, so I could actually educate those customers how to make smart decision when they are taking their eyebrows, and how to actually not ruin their eyebrows more, and if they were plucked, where they should go. And we are currently having like so many people calling us every single day asking us where they should get their eyebrows done, and we are always referring them back to our students, of course. You're gonna probably ask yourself, what's the difference between microblading using dual blade method and the old method? So basically the results will speak for themselves. If you look on the left side compared to the right side, you're gonna see a tremendous difference, because this doesn't look that natural, it doesn't look flawless, and it doesn't really complement her beautiful eyes. So basically to the next webinar, we're gonna go ahead in a class, and I'm gonna show you step by step how actually microblading procedure is done. I'm gonna play a video right now to kind of get an idea about the dual blade method. the next webinar, stick with us because I'm gonna share with you guys how actually the entire microblading process looks like, and you're gonna be able to see the right before and the right after. What's amazing about the dual blade method is that it creates very thin strokes for a very hyper-realistic result. The special hand tool is very thin to prevent scarring on the client's skin. The healing time is much shorter than with any other method, so your customers can go away, can come back right away to the work and people won't notice what is over there. So it's less damaging for the skin, which is really amazing. I'm gonna share over here some of the results, which they are really amazing. If you look on those women's eyebrows, you could see that we could actually reshape it, but still in a way very natural. There are two types of people. There are ladies that they want to get their silicones, their boobs done, but they don't want people to know that they actually had the surgery over there, but they still want to have like a nice enhanced breast. Or they're the type of customers that they want everybody to know that they got their boobs done and they're like huge and they don't look natural at all. Well, microblading is not for that. Microblading is meant to bring more defined shape to your eyebrows, but in the same time look very natural and flawless. So if you want to have a very drastic, huge change, microblading might not be the right option for your customer. So it's meant to be natural, very noticeable, and just to bring, basically just to perform the eyebrows and fill up the gaps and actually give a great shape. This is actually one of our student results during the class. This was her first live model, so her work was really amazing. Say hi! Hi! Let's see your model today. Your first model ever? Yeah. And she's a plastic surgeon.
Right? I was like watching the news last night. I'm like, I wonder if I should be here today. I don't know. It's not very safe here right now.
You've done an amazing job. Thank you.
I'm in Boston. Yeah. I would take the, well, this reminds me of
Trina did a great job assisting her.
Yeah.
Those brows. First job ever.
Amazing.
Yes. You could go ahead and wipe the other eyebrow. Those are the brows of the day.
Plastic surgeon from Dubai did really well.
Yep. You are welcome.
They come all the way from Dubai.
Next we are going to Dubai to her. Try to wipe it in the hair, the direction of the hair growing. The other way. Much easier.
Yeah. Those look amazing. Wow.
Before the customers see them, you have to tell her that they're not gonna be that thick and they're not gonna be that dark, so she don't get scared when she looks in the mirror. So they will get lighter, but they look amazing. Open your eyes, please. Ready? You're live.
Oh, wow.
Here, hold it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my makeup.
You like them?
I do.
I'm still sharing with you to see how natural it could be. The color, it will fade away up to 30% and the shape, it will shrink slightly. And again, microblading is meant to give a very natural, flawless, and the eyebrows are meant to be sisters and not twins. So don't focus on having like perfect eyebrows, just focus on making those eyebrows to every single of your customer look natural and look flawless, right? And you should always work with your customer to see what are the desires, you know, because sometimes you might not be the right artist for your customer. By example, here we could see that with microblading we can fix fail all tattoos. This particular lady had like some gray eyebrows that they were like not really pretty and she wanted them to look more natural. Over here we see how it looks healed. She had previous red eyebrows and we fixed it. So you see that you could fix quite a lot of things with eyebrows if it is performed properly. Let's talk about the career opportunity for a bit. The average procedure of microblading is $800 and it takes about 2 hours to complete. Yes, it's about $400 an hour, which is really achievable as a microblading artist. The average microblading artist takes about 3 customers a day. Which it roughly gets you with 72 customers a month. I told you the lady from Oklahoma, she has about 80 customers a month and she's in Oklahoma. Don't forget about that. And yeah, you're right. That's $57,600 in monthly revenue minus the disposable tools, which they cost about $25 average for customer. And now we are talking about using top-notch tools in the entire industry. That's gonna let you with $55,800 a month before taxes and before overheads, but without tips. So you know that in beauty industry, people are living quite of a generous tip. So you're gonna be able to make a really consistent income. And let's see other proof of success. Sherry, by example, from Washington, she started in December and she made $48,000, which it led her on $8,000 a month. We have Simone, which is from Colorado, and she made about $260,000 in microblading, which led her on $21,000 a month. Just with microblading. I'm not counting any other services that she's actually providing, right? So I still remember Simone. She was one of my students in Vegas back in 2016. She could hardly pay her bills when she first came to our class. She was having a job as a nurse, and I don't remember if she was a nurse or she was a dental assistant, or she was anyway somewhere in the health industry, and she absolutely hated her job. Then we have Natasha, which she's a hustler. She made just less than under $400,000. And her goal actually was to make $500,000, which she was pretty pissed off. So when we asked her, what stopped you to make $500,000? She was like, yeah, I got pregnant and I was 7 months pregnant, and my child was kicking my belly, so I basically couldn't stay on the top of my customer, and that was the year was not even finished, but she had to stop because she gave birth, and she couldn't work because of her medical condition. But you could see that it's really achievable, and it has been achieved by other people. But that was really funny that she was like pretty pissed that she couldn't make $500,000. But Natasha, I'm sure that you're gonna be able to make $500,000 this year now that you gave birth to your child. We have thousands and thousands of student testimonials, and their life has been changed. I'm gonna let them talk, and I'm gonna let them share with you their story, because their journey has been amazing. I can't be more fortunate, and I cannot be more thankful that I was being part of their journey, and I get to see their results every single day, and they are popping all over and all over. And every day I can see in our community a testimonial, which is amazing. Like, it's what drives me and what makes me happy, because at the point they are not the money that you make anymore, is the impact again that you bring in people's lives. And knowing that I, as a single mom and struggling to make a living and make all the way here from a very poor country, to be able to impact those people's life, I just can't describe the feeling that I have every single day when I see their successful stories, and when I get to talk with them, and when they actually send me cards and flowers, and when they are thanking me from changing their life. And you're gonna get to see them as well, because they are in our community every single day trying to help other people. Some of them, they become part of our team. They become part of our training team, because they love to share their knowledge after several years, and they took their career to the next level.
I actually have a better knowledge of what microblading is all about. I feel before taking this course, I had no idea what it actually entails. So better informed for sure, great hands-on experience, great teacher.
But I feel very prepared that now that I finished this class, I'm not nervous about microblading, and I know what to do, I know what to get, and I'm really excited to start my business.
I feel extremely confident. I've always been into microblading, and now that I've taken this 6-day course, I'm so glad I did, because I just feel like the 3-day course would not have been enough. I loved my instructor. Teddy is awesome. She shares everything with you. Her experiences, you know, like how to start it, or if you had any questions regarding microblading or customer experience, she is wonderful. As far as instruction, she's clear. She takes her time. You don't feel rushed. You don't feel like you're not learning enough. It's more than enough information, actually. What was most beneficial for me was having hands-on with my clients and having more than just one client. I think having the extra 3 days, having the real models, having real demonstration, and even the time that we took to practice on latex, just getting that skill. I even tried it on myself, but it really helped. And it really calmed my nerves as far as the first time I tried microblading or on a real person. The hands-on training is no doubt really important. How much they stress the attention to detail and taking it slow and not skipping any steps. She's tough on you, I'm gonna be honest, but it's what you need, especially if you're needing that extra help and you're needing that guidance. She's gonna be there.
I feel like she helped me anytime I needed help and gave me the confidence to start working on clients.
Class is amazing. I was super unsure about it. I was on the fence for a while because it's, you know, it's money and it's a good amount of money, but it's 100% worth it.
We're all ready to get out there and just try to have our own little venture with microblading.
Hey there, I'm Carrie Bentley. I'm the CEO of Lifehack Bootcamp, and Irina is one of the most talented women I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. She is a brilliant leader. She's achieved so much despite fantastic odds in her life, and plus she has a heart of pure gold. So if you are considering joining Fab Life Society, you have an opportunity to participate in that, then don't hesitate, okay? Her program has all sorts of valuable tools and trainings and insights from top leaders who she's personally met throughout her journey to success. And she specifically designed this program to get you from wherever you are now to that level of success that you've always wanted. So if you have the chance, don't wait. Participate.
How do you feel now that you have completed the training, and what are your plans to do now?
So I feel like I've learned a lot out of the microblading training. It was tough in the beginning and in the middle, but towards the end it all started to click, and I'm excited to go back to my salon and show my coworkers what I've done in the time that I was here. Also be able to offer a new service at the salon. So in the next couple of months I'll be doing clients on and off to try to build my skills a little bit more, and then also prepare the salon to bring in the service, which will take a little bit.
How was the trainer?
I had Nina, and she was actually really good. She was down to earth. If there was any issues that we had, she was very upfront with fixing them, and she was very energetic in getting us to learn the actual technique, and she was there for us when we did have the struggles, so it was great.
What did you like most about the class?
I think the best thing about the class was just kind of going through and being able to see like day by day the actual progression, and when you did need assistance from it, it's just the one-on-one capability of the class. You're not just a number, you're a person that has difficulties learning it, and if you do, the instructor's there to help.
Would you recommend the class and why?
I would recommend it, again, just because of the one-on-one ability to be with your instructor, but also the 3-day course, being able to do 3 people before you leave here is a tremendous help. I don't think with just the first person I would have been able to walk out the door feeling certified and also prepared to do it, so the 5 days was definitely good, and I would highly recommend the 5 days.
You have completed the course, and what are your plans to do now?
I feel really good. I'm really excited, and I plan on getting in and starting perfecting everyone's brows, just doing some brows and just making them perfect, making everyone's eyebrows perfect, naturally perfect.
How was the instructor?
Really good. I really enjoyed Nina. I actually probably keep calling her with questions. Yes, her and Brittany both. I love them both.
What was your favorite thing about the class?
Just the people and learning about it.
Would you recommend the class and why?
Yes, I would recommend it because they're teaching you the right things you need to know and not fishtailing.
How do you feel now that you have completed the microblading training, and what do you plan to do now?
I feel really confident, and I feel like I'll be able to take on a lot of clients with some good professional skills that I've learned throughout the course.
And how is your instructor?
She was amazing and definitely very thorough in teaching and always with us every step of the way in case we needed her, so I really felt supported throughout the course as well.
What did you like most about the class?
I really liked the different types of teaching methods, so I liked being able to watch videos, I liked being able to practice hands-on on the latex. I also liked being able to practice on models, of course, and see the teacher practice on models as well.
Were there any other things that you liked about the course?
I liked all the other students in the course, actually. I feel like it was really good to meet people from different backgrounds, and everyone shared their own kind of perspective of it. So
would you recommend this class and why?
I would definitely recommend this. I feel like it's really good training, especially the 5-day training. So I think that it was a really great course.
How do you feel now that you have completed the microblading training, and what do you plan to do now?
I feel really confident in myself, and I feel like I can start right away. Right now, I'm going to start to work in my salon and get everything set up and start going.
How was your instructor?
She was great. She helped me with everything, and she definitely made me feel more confident in my work.
What did you like most about the class?
I like how it was super in-depth, and it just went over everything that you needed to start.
Did you like any other things about the class?
Yeah, I liked how a lot of us worked as a group together, how the girls were really great, and we were all super helpful with each other.
Would you recommend this class and why?
Absolutely. I think you get the full experience, get all the knowledge, and definitely everything that you need to start microblading.
How do you feel now that you completed the advanced microblading training class with MJ, and what are you going to do now?
I feel good. I feel confident. I feel excited, anxious to get back home and start. I'm going to be working out of a salon back home.
What do you like most about the class?
MJ. She's a really good trainer. I learned a lot from her. Even from the first day, I felt comfortable and excited to get to class every morning.
That's good. What other things do you like about it?
I liked learning the techniques. I liked just learning the whole process. Everything to me was interesting.
Would you recommend this class and why?
Yes, I would. They provide you with books, all the tools that you need to start your own business once you get home. So they provide you with information on tools and pigments and where you can find them. So MJ was a great trainer too. That's why I would choose the World Microblading.
How do you feel now that you've completed the advanced microblading training, and what are you going to do now?
I feel like I have learned so much with this 5-day training. I can't imagine actually even doing the 3. The last couple of days really give you a lot of insight on what colors to use, how to fix any mistakes, how to fix other people's mistakes. So I feel like it's extremely important to take the whole 5-day class.
How was the instructor?
The instructor was amazing. Simone is full of knowledge, a lot of knowledge. And of course, you're great too, Tina. Having that assistant is awesome because I know Simone, it's going to be hard for her to try to get everything everybody needs in classes.
What did you like most about the class?
I really love how we got to bring in our own models. I wasn't sure at first if you guys provided them for us, but since I live in Tennessee and had to come to Atlanta, I really like how we got to bring our own people, and that way we can follow up with them in a month.
And would you recommend this class to others?
100%, just because if someone wants to get trained for microblading, I feel like World Microblading is probably going to be the best company to come get trained for.
How do you feel now that you've completed the advanced microblading training, and what are you going to do next?
I feel very confident about it. It was a great course. She was very patient and worked very individually with me, so I really appreciate that. Next, I'm going to go home and get some more training.
How was the instructor?
She was wonderful. She was very patient, full of knowledge. She answered every question, so she was really good.
What other things did you like about the class?
The live models were great. It's great to have live models to work on.
Would you recommend this class to others?
Absolutely. Yes, it was a great class.
How do you feel now that you've completed the advanced microblading training, and what are you going to do next?
I'm really excited. I have wanted to do this for so long, and I'm glad I did it with you guys. I might try to find a spot where I'll be able to practice by myself, like set up my own business.
Awesome. And how was the instructor?
She was great. Like, she kept going back over stuff that I didn't understand, and sometimes when I felt like, okay, I didn't really get this, she went over it a lot of times, which was super great, and I felt like she was really great.
What did you like most about the class?
I would say it covered a lot of stuff, especially for people that don't have a background in beauty, not a cosmetologist or anything like that. It covered a whole lot. You just have to practice.
Right. Would you recommend this class to others? If so, why?
I definitely will, because I feel like sometimes you pay for what you get, and some people take 1 day, 2 days classes. I don't see any way how you learn all of this in 1 or 2 days.
Right.
Plus all the practice that you end up getting with all the models. I definitely recommend it.
How do you feel now that you've completed the advanced microblading training, and what are you going to do now?
I feel like I have a full knowledge of what I've been training here, and Samo, my instructor, was awesome. She gave me all the information that I need to learn, and also practicing wise. So now I feel like I'm fully ready to work after this.
Awesome. And how was the instructor?
She was awesome. I think like she's just fully knowledge, and she just very clear and specific of what I need to learn, and she answered all the questions.
And what did you like most about the class?
I like it that the environment's so friendly. Everybody's super friendly, supportive. The instructor very friendly and supportive also. I don't feel like left out.
And what other things did you like about the course?
That I can train with live models, and they're providing me the models that I needed since I'm traveled from out of town. And I can hand on with my models, and she helped me a little along the way.
Would you recommend this course to others?
I will definitely recommend this course to others. This World Microblading company is awesome.
When I'm actually telling you to focus on your future and gain financial independence, I always thought about the simple thing. If you could cut a check for a problem, you don't really have a problem. So I will always focus how to actually have money to be able to pay for the things that I need rather than focus of how to stretch and be panic, how would I pay my mortgage, how would I pay my daughter therapy, and so on, whatever are your responsibilities in life. So if you actually focus on how to have a stream of income that you'll never need to be worried about anymore, basically all your problems will be solved. Actually, one of the challenges we have in the modern life is that there are so many options with so many great things, and there are so many great things through the life that they are waving and coming to our attention, that if we don't manage our modern life, that will manage us. Part of managing is just making the right choices, what we feel that it's important for us, and really focusing our gut in things that we want to pursue towards our passions, our dreams, and where we really want to focus our time and energy. There is no way in the hell we're gonna have to have a lasting large success without having confidence, because without confidence you are not going to take massive action and learning from what doesn't work, changing our approach until we get where we want to get, is what actually make us success in a very long-term time thinking. And you know, it's not the smartest kid who always have the A on the school that become actually the superstar. It's the one who have the incredible amount of the confidence to go to do amazing things with their life. And actually, I always tell people that you should not laugh of the people that they have B and C and D and don't come to the classes and they are outside the boxes, because fun fact, usually in life they become your bosses because they have that ambition to succeed and they are outside the box and they see the world in a totally different way than people that they are always like in time and see the life straight and have like only A's and they are by the book. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong by being like inside the book and like do everything like your teacher says, but the ones that actually make history, they are the ones that are always completely different and see the world in a different path. Whenever you pursue a career, no matter it's a career in microblading or it's a career in anything that makes you feel fulfilled, no amount of money will make you happy unless you find internal satisfaction. Don't forget that. Combining that with more money is the next level for the real fulfillment. Don't pursue a career just because it's great paid unless you're really passionate about it, because you're gonna end up having a miserable life with a lot of money. And don't ever forget you're amazing, and let the world see that incredible part of you every single day. Fall in love with yourself every single day before anyone else does that. Don't settle for things just being okay. Don't accept that. Don't say things like my relationship is good enough. Instead say my relationship might not be perfect, but I'm gonna work hard and make it better. Strive for greatness every part of your life. When you settle just for okay, whatever it comes for your job or your relationship, you lose out so much joy in your life. Say no for just being okay. Get out that term from your life, because unconsciously that means you're telling yourself you're not good enough, you don't deserve better. Other people are gonna be happy and they have abundance, but you don't. Is good enough for you? Hell no! You should strive for perfect. Stop telling yourself things that they are okay, because you are settling for just average. Just say to yourself, my life is not perfect right now, but it could be better. It's okay today, but I'm gonna go for more tomorrow. I know you're going for more, so just keep going. Just okay is not okay. It's not good enough. Not for our students and not for the people that we are trying to help over here. There is a next level in your life, and you're gonna go get it and you're gonna grab it for yourself and do something meaningful with your life. When you consider a career in microblading and when you're practicing and when you're at the beginning of your role, remember, do the absolutely best you can, even if you hate it, until the next level kicks in. And it doesn't matter what it is, always give 110%, and I promise you're gonna succeed. So basically to the next webinar, we're gonna go ahead in a class and I'm gonna show you step by step how actually microblading procedure is done.